wonderful, sweet baby. So today we're going to be talking about how Chrisean Rock was happy AF when Blueface called her, even though he was trolling and using her for ish and giggles. So Blueface was hanging out with this weird guy who was behaving as if he was a nerd. And in this video, they pretty much decided that they would call Chrisean Rock. It was pretty much a test in which I'm assuming they were trying to see how, his women would act that were in his life. Whether they would be loyal to him and just maintain, face for him, or whether they would just jump for joy for possibly going to go viral. So let me give you guys a little bit of backstory as to what happened. This guy that was dressed as a nerd decides that he would call Chrisean, and he got on the phone and pretty much talked to her. Blueface pretty much opened everything up because they were doing everything off of his phone. So in the midst of them doing this, Blueface pretty much answered the phone saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" All of those good things. Chrisean was acting as if she was trying to be very nonchalant, but you can tell that she was extremely happy. Then Blueface hands the phone off to this guy, and he starts to talk to this guy. In the midst of her talking to this guy asks her a plethora of questions. He also states that she's beautiful. He also was trying to pretty much shoot his shot. When he started to get a little bit vulgar, then Chrisean, I guess, figured that this was a skit and it was a joke, so she pretty much just ended the call. And this is her on the phone trying to act as if she's not extremely happy that Blueface called her that day. So then they give Jaden a call as well. Jaden rushes to answer the phone, which Blueface actually pointed out. He then passes the phone off to the nerdy guy. The nerdy guy pretty much set up the exact same platform and said some of the exact same questions. Jaden instantly blew this man off and pretty much quoted one of Blueface's songs, "Don't be asking me them type of questions." In the midst of all of that, Blueface actually even embraced her by saying that this was his girl, saying, "Baby, hey," and then Jaden said, "Hey, boo." So you can tell that his level of how he dealt with him was just completely different. When Blue seen how Jaden responded to the call, he actually was jumping for joy, saying, "Yes, that's my girl," and just really happy as to how she presented herself and how she carried herself. Meanwhile, here's what Chrisean did a post and delete with once she figured out that, the whole thing was just a ploy and kind of, I believe, a ish test to see how loyal she was. So here's my thoughts. If you are a Chrisean Rock fan, I'm going to need you to really, really reevaluate who you are as a person. Because all of this has happened after Blueface has exploited her son's Winky, called her all sorts and types of B words, H words, every word that you could think of. After they've gotten into domestic disputes, after he's rearranged her face within one of those domestic disputes, he's gotten back with his baby mother. Him and his baby mother have a whole child together. His baby mother is now living with him after he kicked Chrisean out of his house. He gave his baby mother now a elevated lifestyle. He showed that you were replaceable, and he's played in your face several times. So if you guys strangely and oddly enough think that this man is still in love with her, I question the types of relationships that you are in and you are holding on to. Because at this point, I know that you guys are in equally as abusive relationships, equally in relationships in which you're not receiving any love, but yet you're receiving tons of delusion. And I fear for your safety. Because at this point, you're holding on to something that is extremely blasphemous to even remotely think about. And you're thinking that a man cares for you when in reality he is using you. So I primarily made this video specifically for her fans because I truly think there is something wrong with you guys. Because there is no way that you think that this man truly cares about Chrisean when he has a multitude of times dismissed her. He has even done the biggest disrespect that he could do, which is dismiss their child. The one thing that Blue did for her, in which I'm not sure if he really did it primarily for Chrisean, I think he mainly did it for what he's willing to accept. But he ended up pretty much telling the guy not to call Chrisean ugly. He dismissed him extremely hard because he was like, no, we're not going to do that. But this guy went in on Chrisean and her actual appearance. But back to the Chrisean Rock fans. I really hope you all get the help that you need, because if these are the types of relationships that you guys are holding on to, it's going to be some very, very lonely nights when you guys are older. But that's my opinion. What's yours?